Welcome to Behind the Book. Today's guest is Adam Kolozetti from Enta Solutions. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about to boldly go. This means to boldly go in business, in life, in relationships. Stay tuned for more. Welcome to Behind the Book, where I am your guide, Heather Andrews, unraveling the captivating stories from behind the pages. Join me as I sit down with authors from the literary landscape to delve into challenges, inspirations, and untold tales that breathe life into their written worlds. Welcome to the episode of Behind the Book. In the previous episode, we talked to Adam Kolozetti of Enta Solutions about how he wrote his chapter in the book Culture Revolution and all of the ahas and really painted the examples for really how important culture is. And so today, in this episode, we're going to be talking about To Boldly Go. And so Adam, tell us, what is next for you after this book?
Oh man. Well, I definitely love the writing process. In fact, between Caitlin and myself, we've got 2-3 more books that we're working on. And these ones are more full books, not necessarily collabs. So that's pretty exciting to have that kind of creativity, those kind of projects circulating. And then, in terms of collabs, I suspect we'll do this again. Maybe we'll make this an annual thing of some sort, or I don't know. It's just been a really great experience. We've enjoyed everything about it. Lots of writing.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I think when you tune into the world of writing and publishing, it's just, I think the question that comes up is, what can I create next?
Yeah, it feels kind of like, they say if you get a tattoo, you get it once and you want more, right? So, for me, I didn't find the process that painful. I found it really enjoyable, although it did add extra work and maybe some extra stress to my life. But I enjoyed it, and if I enjoyed it, then that's a clue that I should continue to
do more of
play
it.
in that sandbox, right?
I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I find for myself, like I wrote 14 times in different collaborations that I've done or been a part of. And I find that when I go back and I read them, and this is probably what's going to happen for you too, when the book comes out, you'll go back and you'll read your chapter and you go, wow, okay, well this has changed and that's changed. And they almost become like a running journal in some ways of publishing on the growth that you've made. Because I can go back and read from like 9 years ago when I published my first compilation to now, I don't even think I'm the same person.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's fixed in time.
And my writing style has changed. My way I communicate has changed. How I express myself in the world of writing has changed. And so it's this ever-ending growth creatively and, literarily, if that's a word from the publisher.
Yeah.
And, and it's just that ever-ending growth that's always evolving. And you're right, like once you start and you like it, it's just to continue because it is a skill set that is one of those ones that you can use forever as you develop it.
I never thought about that, but I suspect that the journey is not quite over. We still have to publish it. We still have to have the launch part, there's a lot of type of stuff, right? And as people are watching this probably would have happened already, but a lot of emotions. And I think for myself going forward, I think there's definitely, one thing that the book helps with is some professional speaking opportunities or things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, and even through the lens of our business Enta Solutions, that is a way to, essentially help businesses become more aware of who we are and what we do and all that kind of stuff. So, I think this year will be kind of really interesting as we go into that next step, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So the one question that I have for you is, what is your one wish for the reader of this book?
Ooh, good question. I didn't know that question was coming. My one wish, I think if someone were to read that book and they are in a situation with their job, whether they're a leader or not, or that they feel empowered, that there are things you can do to make it better. You are not helpless. Doesn't matter if you have authority or not. You can gain influence and you can make a difference. And that can happen at all levels of any organization, from the top all the way down to, the summer student. Mm-hmm. One of the most impactful things I ever saw for a culture during a period of layoffs was a whiteboard about this big that hung on the back of a cubicle, and every day the girl wrote on it like a riddle or some kind of funky quote or something ridiculous. And that little piece of joy amidst all that angst and uncertainty was transformative.
Beautiful.
People would take the long way around just to walk past that sign.
Just to see what you wrote.
Yeah. And so it doesn't have to be these like sweeping strategic initiatives. It's just people in connection and taking a moment to throw something out in the world. It can be as simple as that. So hopefully if somebody reads that, they get an idea that they can either copy or be inspired by, or talk about it. Mm-hmm. And if that moves the needle like a little bit for even one person, then that's amazing. I would be super proud to hear that.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I know it was an off the cuff question, but it's always one of the very first questions that I always ask my authors that are coming on board is, what is your one wish? What is your one, what is the one thing that to make this book a success, what would it be?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's always, they always kind of stop, think, pause.
Well, you know what's interesting about this question? I think had you asked me that before we started the process, I don't know, I probably would have said something maybe a little bit more self-involved, because I would have been focused on tactically trying to do it or why I'm doing it or whatever. But now after going through it and realizing that it was a little more of an emotional process, and having created something, it's less about what it can do for me and more about putting it out to the world and seeing if it can make a difference for somebody.
Yep.
So.
Well, I just have loved all the conversations in this series, because it took me back to when you interviewed me and we were talking about the power of connection. Mm-hmm. And the thing that comes up for me in this is that if we can make the world a better place for the generation that's coming up beneath us or after us, as we've gone through our corporate experiences and culture experiences, and make them more aware of what is a great culture, work environment where they can thrive. That's what this book is about. And it brought me back to my son. If you remember the song, because he was 26 and he said that in all of the world today, there's less connection than there is more connection. And that was that Through to You song that we played on my video when you interviewed me.
Yeah, I remember.
And I think that this book is the book, Culture Revolution, that is going to change the way that our generation that's coming up behind us in the workplace and our future leaders can take away some of the facets of, that's how powerful this book is.
Well, I think, appreciate that. Thank you for the vote of confidence. One of the reasons for the title Revolution, it suggests dramatic action of some sort, but I think over time, the definition of what a good culture is also shifts. So 20 years from now, somebody could maybe read it and get a window in their insight into how we were feeling at this time in maybe that's relevant, maybe that's totally shifted in 20 years. But I think ultimately we're still human, we're still looking for connection. That might show up in different ways with various different technology or how we interact or whatever. But ultimately, that's really the point, that your work and your personal life, they're no longer these two separate things that are divided and like balanced on a scale. They're messy, they're intertwined, and if you can show up as your best self in all parts of that, and are supported with the people around you, and then that sounds like a win to me.
Yeah,
so
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And we are in a time, and you know, you talk about 20 years from now, you know, not only like 4 years ago were we in a shutdown. And so we've come out of that. And I think that what you speak to in this book is a period of time about how we moved through and regrew and redefined this time. So you've got it. You guys have collaborated on this book at a very integral time in history, I think. And I believe that, you know, you as a father too are giving your children a different path, because they see you having left this and left that and gone and done, you know, with Enta Solutions and creating an impact. That speaks volumes. So
thank you.
You know, so as we wrap up today, thank you and for the series and all the insights and sharing your experiences, because it's been a beautiful experience, and doing the book with you as well. So where can people find you on the internet? How can they reach you?
LinkedIn is the easiest way to find me. There's not a lot of Kolozettis out there, so you can find me on LinkedIn. You can check out my website, entasolutions.org, and you can pick up the book on Amazon.ca.com, Audible, paperback, whatever you want.
Yeah, there you go. So thank you for being a part of our series. Thank you, Adam, for just putting your soul on the table, because it's, you are right, we need more vulnerability to have those heart-to-heart connections. And thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you too will see the story inside yourself. As we close another chapter on Behind the Book, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our wonderful authors for sharing their stories. I'm Heather Andrews, reminding you that the adventure doesn't end here. Keep turning those pages, and I will see you next time.